Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I want to start with a simple statement. Simple, but I think it is costly if we choose to ignore it. Here it is. Great leaders enlarge us by provoking us to be and do our best. Small leaders, selfish leaders, however, they diminish us. They reduce us to their diminished, puny state. Now, this sentence is not given, it's not uttered. I don't share it as an insult, but I do offer it as a warning, because leadership does not just direct outcomes. Real leadership, all leadership, shapes lives, whether it's good or bad, whether it's great or small. Leadership shapes lives. It shapes people. And whether you are leading or following, you are being formed by the quality of the leadership you are under. And most people never stop to ask how. How are they being formed? And to those of you who are leading, we need to realize that leadership is not about position. It's about what we are producing in the people we are leading. So if you are a leader, whether it's formal or informal, here is the uncomfortable truth. Your leadership is doing something to people right now. I'll say that again. Your leadership is doing something to people right now. Every interaction, every decision, every response under pressure is either enlarging people or diminishing them. And great leaders provoke growth. They stretch people without breaking them. They challenge assumptions. They refuse to let comfortable and comfort masquerade as excellence. They do not flatter or coddle or dominate. They see potential. They grow potential before performance, and then they call it forward. But small leaders, selfish leaders, operate differently. They lead from insecurity, not from a sense of stewardship. They are threatened by talent. They feel exposed by competence, and they interpret questions as challenges, and anyone who desires clarity as rebellion. So instead of enlarging people, small, insecure, selfish leaders, they manage their downward. They manage them downward. They reduce voice and limit initiative. They punish anyone for being honest and reward silence and compliance. Not because people are incapable, but because the leader is insecure. So if your leadership requires people to become smaller in order to stay close to you, your leadership is not strong. It's fragile. It's tentative. It's tenuous. So, those of you who are following, please pay attention to what leadership is doing to you. If you're an employee, a team member, a congregant, a student, a citizen, you and I, we must become more discerning, because not all leadership is worth our loyalty. Not all leaders are worth our loyalty. So here is the question you should be asking, not occasionally, but regularly. Am I becoming more capable, more courageous, more whole under this leader? Or am I becoming cautious and quiet and constrained? Great leadership will enlarge you. Great leadership will enlarge you. You will think more clearly under great leadership. You will take responsibility under great leadership. You will grow in confidence and competence under great leadership. But small leadership, it diminishes you to the point you second guess yourself. You tend to over-explain yourself. You rehearse conversations in your head. You start managing the leader's emotions instead of doing your work. You're more concerned about them being comfortable than you being competent and efficient. And too many of us have normalized this. And we normalized it, and we call it paying our dues, or we call it being humble, or we call it respecting authority. But shrinking is not a leadership development strategy. Leadership that constantly diminishes you is not forming you. It's actually deforming you. And here are the tells to recognize if you're under diminishing leadership. Diminishing leaders have patterns. What they do is they hoard information so that they can stay relevant. They take credit and they deflect blame. They move the goalpost every so often. They punish dissent indirectly. They confuse loyalty with silence, and they label boundaries as attitude. And they keep systems so vague so power stays centralized. And over time, something predictable happens. The best people leave. They remain, and the remaining people begin to disengage. And mediocrity becomes normal. And fear replaces trust. And there is a cost to diminishing leadership. And this matters more than we are willing to admit. Leadership does not stop at the office or at the firm. It spills into our marriages. Leadership spills and leaks into our parenting, into our health, our confidence, our identity. People carry diminished versions of themselves home every day because they sit under leaders who drain them. And that's why this conversation is urgent. It's necessary. Because leadership is not neutral. It is either lifting or lowering people that have entrusted their lives to it. So my charge to you today is to choose enlargement and be responsible for what you produce. If you lead, ask yourself honestly, what version of people am I producing? If people leave you confused and depleted, smaller, you need to adjust, because your leadership is not a right, it is a privilege. You are a steward, not an owner. And for those of you who are following out there, my charge to you is stop offering loyalty to leaders that require your diminishment. Discernment is not rebellion. It's not rebellion. It might be just a sign that you're growing wiser and you know better. So I'm going to leave you with this. Great leaders enlarge us by provoking us to be and do our best. Those small leaders, they diminish us. And they try to reduce us to their diminished state. So you and I need to choose and expect a leadership that will lift us. We need to resist and refuse leadership that shrinks us. And those of you who are leading out there, be the kind of leader whose presence leaves people stronger, better than you found them. Because leadership shapes the lives of people. And lives are too costly to be entrusted to small minds and small hands. Because we deserve better of our leaders. Go and be great, because I'm rooting for you. This conversation has resonated with you. I want to let you know I continue this in my writing on Substack, and it's where I slow things down, I go deeper, and I practice discernment around leadership, around stewardship, and around the lives we shape. So I want to encourage you. I want to invite you. I want to thank you in advance for subscribing, as you want to stay engaged in this work, because how you show up matters, and who you allow to lead you matters even more.